Hi everybody, my name is Greg Lemons and I'm going to talk to you today about my project, my little big group project thing that we've been designing for the past week or so. What I've designed is called the Middle School Arkansas Documentary Film Festival. The subject for the course is social studies and it is aimed at kind of like a sixth grade level. I picked a 6 week duration because I feel that this is something like just a big project that you can do in your classes. I feel like it's something that maybe the school could try to put on maybe 3 times a year or something. Um, let's see here. Okay, so my content knowledge, I've labeled out a bunch of them because I want the class to actually pick from among the key content knowledge and understanding standards that I've picked. So I've picked G.2.6.1, which is examining the effects of the contributions of people from selected racial, ethnic, and religious groups in the cultural identity of Arkansas in the United States. G.2.6.2 describe how people from the selected racial, ethnic, and religious groups attempt to maintain their cultural heritage while adapting to the culture of Arkansas in the United States. G.2.6.3, which is identify the occurrences of cultural diffusion, cultural exchange, and assimilation in local and national history. G.3.6.1, describe the location of major cities in Arkansas and the availability of resources and transportation in those areas. G.3.6.5, which is describe the physical processes that produce renewable and non-renewable resources. G.3.6.6, describe ways in which technology influences capacity to modify the physical environment. And G.3.6.7, analyze the consequences of environmental modification on Arkansas and specific areas of the United States. I chose this many standards for this project because I actually want my groups of students to pick one of these standards and then base a small documentary film around the standard and the topic chosen. The skills that will be taught in this is critical thinking and problem solving. I X'd that. Self-management, I X'd that one. And collaboration, I X'd that one because these students are going to get broken down into groups, and I'll go into that a little bit further here in a second. My project summary is that students are going to be introduced to documentary filmmaking with a short entry event involving a video and a guest speaker showing off some of the tools that they use when creating documentary films. Students have been challenged to create a 10 to 15 minute long documentary over the state of Arkansas that they will present in an open house Arkansas Documentary Film Festival to the school and community on a specific night after 6 weeks of working on the project. So essentially, guys, what I want to have happen is I want the students to be working on something, and then I want to open up the school and bring in the community and the parents to view what the students have been working on, and that's via this documentary film project. This is a great way to get students and parents in the classroom and then get your students to be leading their parents around the class, showing off the work that they've done. And being excited about everything that they've done over the course of the year. Okay, so students will be divided into groups of 3 following the entry event on documentary filmmaking. Each group will then delegate themselves to fill a role. These roles are going to be the facilitator, the editor, and the narrator, okay? The facilitator is going to be the guy running the camera, and he's going to be providing research into topics and helping the editor and narrator write the script for the documentary. The editor is going to oversee the editing process of the film and using like historical footage that they're able to get off the internet and cite to add to their film, just to spice it up, make it look a little bit better. Pardon me. Now they'll be either using like a Google editing software or Windows editing software, something that's free, something that comes default on the computer, and it's very similar to what I use to make my videos. And then, of course, the narrator is going to provide voiceover work for the documentary video, and they're going to read the script that they've prepared in cooperation and coordination with the facilitator and the editor. So I've got groups of 3, each having a specific role, each doing a job, and each helping on the project, so everybody is actually working in their groups, in their specific roles. Students are going to have to select from the above list of standards that I've added to this project, because I want them to make their documentary off of that, and I want them to incorporate the driving question of how can we improve Arkansas and make it competitive in the 21st century and beyond. So they're going to take their standards topic, they're going to take this driving question, and then they're going to create for me a 10 to 15 minute documentary film. So the purpose of this project is to give students experience working on a real-world applicable task. The collaboration and cooperation the students must exhibit while being responsible for their own roles within the groups is meant to show students how to work together to accomplish a larger and intimidating task. The beneficiaries of this project are the students. They're gaining maturity and experience working on a project. The parents of the students, because they're able to see proof that their student is going through the learning process and are actually given an opportunity to get into the classroom and get in there and see what's going on via the documentary film festival night. And then the community also benefits from the project because the children are learning about their history, their shared culture, and they're researching ways to make life better for everybody. So when these children are adults and running things are maybe a little bit better for us because we'll be the older folks. Okay, so my driving question is, how can we improve Arkansas and make it competitive in the 21st century and beyond? My entry event, it's going to be a little brief documentary film over Arkansas and how documentary films are made. And then I'm going to try to see if I couldn't bring in a guest speaker from the documentary, Hot Springs Documentary Film Institute, and give them a talk and maybe show off some of the equipment that they use. Okay, so the products. The individual product is students will have individual roles delegated to themselves within their groups. Students will each have a measurable part to play within the group, such as facilitator, editor, and narrator. And the specific content and competencies to be addressed is cultural and diversity. Students will develop an understanding of how cultures around the world develop and change, and interaction of people in the environment. Students shall develop an understanding of the interactions between people and their environment. It's pretty, self-explanatory. Okay, and then the team product is the team puts on the successful presentation that includes them introducing their roles within the group and then showing their documentaries in an open house style documentary film festival for the school. And the specific content and competencies to be assessed via that is cultural and diversity. Students shall develop an understanding of how cultures around the world develop and change, and interaction of people and environments. Students shall develop an understanding of the interactions between people and their environment. Okay, so how we're going to make the products public is, like I've been saying, the school is going to put on like an open house documentary film festival one night where the parents in the community can come into the classroom, and then the students can take their parents and lead them around the classroom, showing them the projects they've been working on. And this doesn't specifically have to be just for this documentary film festival. You can get them in the classroom and show them your math tests and all the good grades, and have students pick out what would be the most difficult thing they've learned over the year, and then do an example of successfully showing or completing said difficult task, and then they could show that to their parents. And it's just a great way for the kids to get excited about school, and it's a great way for the parents to get excited about school. The resources needed, you're going to need on-site people and facilities. You're going to need AV lab access. You're going to have access to the school assembly hall, the gym, or the library for whenever you host your film festival. You're going to need equipment, so you're going to need a green screen, you're going to need lights, and you're going to need a camera. Most schools can get their hands on those. If not, we would be contacting the Henderson State University STEM Center for some help there. The materials, the students will need to research materials. They're going to need the materials to look up information on Arkansas and their specific standard and driving question. They're going to need access to the green screen, the lights, cameras, microphones, computers, editing software. All that is provided by the school. The community resources, well, the community is going to get notified about this big project via like social media and the radio. And we're going to promote it because we want the community to come in and see, hey, this is what we're doing with the youth of the area. This is the future that we have to look forward to. So the reflection methods would be a journal and a learning log, a whole class discussion, and a survey. So that is pretty much my project design. The student learning guide, I've got it broken down into a way of you've got your learning outcomes and targets, you've got your checkpoints, informative assessments, and your instructional strategies for all learners. The learning outcomes and targets, I have broken down into a 6-week process. So the first week, the students would delegate roles. They're going to select their standard to align their documentary to, and they're going to begin the research on that. The checkpoint / formative analysis that I have for the week 1 would be students have to have their roles delegated. Students are going to have their standards, and they're going to have to align their documentaries and going to have to begin the research. The instructional strategies for all learners would be to introduce the topic with a guest speaker and a fun video to get the students excited, introduce the process of delegating roles and what each of those roles means in the assignment. Teacher lead, I'm going to teacher lead and model, just to show them, give them a visual example of kind of the whole process of this. And students are going to start brainstorming on how they can research a topic and that kind of thing. Week 2, the learning outcome and target is going to be students collaborate their research and begin the script writing process. And the formative assessment is going to be the students have to have words on paper and have begun the script writing process for their documentary. Students are going to be working in their group, collaborating on the script. So, week 3, the learning outcome and target is that the scripts will be finished. Scenes for the documentaries are going to be filmed, and students are going to be speaking on camera about their topics. So the formative assessment for that is the students have finalized their script and begun filming on their documentaries that week. Now, week 4, the filming is finished. The footage is uploaded onto editing software. Scenes are cut together. Transitions, intros, credits, all that kind of stuff are added. And then the formative assessment for that week is students finish filming their documentaries and the editing process has begun. Week 5, the students have finished their narrations for these videos and the editing, and they've got their videos completed and put together, and we're going through practice runs in the class. In week 5 is the students go through a practice run of their documentary video in front of the class so they don't get up in front of everybody and they're like, I don't know what to say. Okay, and then week 6, guys, is presentation week. This is it. Students are going to present their work in an open house style film festival. They will discuss the roles they had in their groups with their families. They're going to show their families around the class, and they're going to show the stuff that they've been working on throughout the semester to their families. And then the whole class and their families are going to get together either in the gymnasium or in the school library, and we're going to show these documentaries and open it up for questions and answers. And the formative assessment is if the students present their documentaries or not. So that is my big project design. It covers 6 weeks because it takes that much time to film. It can be expanded out further or it can be shortened. But I kind of like having it spread out over a long kind of period of time and have it culminate in a open house film festival that the community and the parents and everybody can get involved and get inside the school on. So thanks, guys. It's been great being in here with you this semester. Dr. Quast, I've learned so much. I really do appreciate everything you've done for us this semester. I hope you guys have a great school year. If you're doing your internship next semester, good luck, guys. I will be rooting for you. And if not, I'll see you next semester, guys. Have a good one.